original.
And I'm in love with the money.
We're talking today about 10 reasons not to get life insurance now. And you know what? Let me just dive right into it. And when I think about, I say life insurance, but I'm including the spectrum of income protection and lifestyle preservation options, which would include life insurance, critical illness, disability coverage. So, reasons why some people might choose not to get life insurance, and let's explore them. My first would be some people prefer to wait. They prefer to pay more later and get less for what they're paying, right? So reason one, you prefer to wait to pay more later and get less. The reason why this is the possibility is because the cost of insurance does increase as you age. And also, the risk increase as you age. It's more likely that you will probably develop an ailment or a condition that negatively impacts your health as you age. And as these factors increase, then you run the risk of paying more and getting less in the future. And if you wait even to pass retirement, the age of 65, 70, and 80, the other thing is that the number of providers who are willing to provide you that kind of coverage decreases. So in my mind, as you age, you need the coverage more, and it will cost you more too if you wait until then. I would suggest getting it early when it's cost effective, getting something permanent so you have it all paid off for when you really need it in the future. So that's reason number one. If you're okay with paying more and getting less, then that could be a reason not to get insurance coverage now. The next reason would be you like playing the odds. You like probability over predictability. What insurance does is provide you a certain outcome if there is a certain unfortunate event that happens in the future, right? So we could play the odds and say, you know what, maybe it won't happen, or when it happens, then maybe I'll have this in place. But the thing is, that's a gamble, right? And gambling is very high risk. So instead, put certainty into your future with life insurance and critical illness coverage, disability coverage. So if certain things happen, you're not wondering how it will play out. You actually know how it will play out. The next one is that you maybe have no one that you care for or who is dependent on you. You don't have a cause that you'd want to support even after you're gone. But the thing is, if you have no dependents, if you have no causes that you want to support, guess who the one dependent that you have is? You, right? You depend on you. So you depend on your income for survival. You will have to be creating the resources that you need for your future. So you depend on you. And insurance is one way to protect your lifestyle, to protect your well-being, and to protect your legacy, taking care of all those circumstances that will play out through life up until the end. So you depend on you. So get your life in order, get coverages to safeguard your lifestyle and your well-being. Okay. Maybe you have a feeling, and I know I probably had that phase in life where I didn't think about the end. Maybe I felt I would live forever, right? So the end was never in mind. But when it happens, especially here in Canada, there are certain things that are triggered with our passing. All debts become due. The final tax bill is payable, right? And assets are considered disposed of at market value. So all of these things have financial consequences on our estate, and we would want to be prepared for this and not leave it as a burden on our loved ones. So yes, even if you feel like you live forever or death is in the far distant future, we still have to be prepared for it, because in actuality, it's tomorrow's not guaranteed, right? So we need to put things in place to safeguard and prepare for that eventuality. You might feel that you have guarantees around your health and your income, right? You exercise, your diet, you take care of yourself, so you feel maybe nothing will happen to you physically, you won't get seriously ill, you won't have a serious injury, and you know what? You feel like too your job is secure, right? So you will have this constant stream of income. But guess what? Healthy people get ill, healthy people get injured. And from my experience, you can be out of a job just like that. Too many conversation and you are out of a job. So with insurance, you can put safeguards in place. If something happens to you, you are taken care of. Whether you're seriously ill, you know how your bills are going to be paid. If you get injured, you know that you'll have that income coming in while you are going through rehab and recovery. And if you build an asset inside of your life insurance policy, it can actually be a buffer when or if you go through a period of unemployment. So when you have these resources in play for you, you have more confidence and security when you go through life, right? So there are no guarantees except for the ones that you probably built into your life. And the next one, you don't mind risking or losing it all if something happens to you, whether you become injured or ill, or you don't mind leaving your family in a financial situation that can be burdensome and very taxing for them. And I know I'm not talking to people like this. You want to ensure that your family is taken care of, your bills can be paid, and you don't want to risk it all. And unfortunately, these things do happen in life. I've heard stories where people didn't take out the necessarily safeguards and things happen prematurely. The unforeseen happens and they lose out, right? So put these measures in place because you don't really want to risk everything. You don't want to be forced to exhaust your savings to take you through a critical illness or a serious injury. You don't want to maybe even have to take out debt in order to access the care that you want. You want to be able to fund your life when these things pop up, and they unfortunately they pop up for a significant portion of the Canadian population. So maybe we might be the odds, but maybe not, right? So be prepared. The other reason is that you can't afford it, right? And this is something I do hear quite often. And when I hear that reason, I can't afford it, the thought that comes to mind is that then that means you really need it, right? So when we are living paycheck to paycheck, it means that we have no resources, no stash that we can go to when life happens, right? When life throws us these curveballs. And the thing is, there are options that are available that are affordable, even on a tight budget. I ran a quick quote for a 35-year-old male for $1 million in coverage, and that could cost just over $1 per day, right? For a T10, $1 million coverage life insurance policy for a healthy male, non-smoker, 35, that's $1.24 per day. So the question is, what is it that you really can't afford? You really can't afford your family to suffer if something happens to you, right? You can afford $1 a day, right? So put those things in place. And I think that life insurance is definitely a way that a non-millionaire can leave a millionaire legacy for their family. And if you have that power, I would say use it. All right. So the next reason is that, you know what? I have a lot of assets. I have a lot of assets, and I don't mind paying 50% of that to the CRA, to the government when I go. So if that's you, that is a reason not to get insurance, right? But you know what? I would suggest, if you spent the time, the effort to amass those assets, make sure it passes to the people who really matter to you, right? Your loved ones. And insurance is a tool that you can use for tax planning, for estate planning, and also for wealth transfer. So, you know what? You worked hard for those assets, protect them, ensure that they pass to the persons that you really had in mind when you were working to acquire them. So put insurance in place to take care of the tax bill to ensure that your legacy passes as you wish. Okay, and the next reason, number 9, if you're okay with being dependent on your kids, dependent on the government, or even strangers at retirement, maybe insurance isn't for you, right? And because my personal opinion is that we as parents should take care of our retirement. We grow our kids with the outlook that we'll be looking at grandkids in the future, which means they will have the responsibility of taking care of their own families when we are in retirement, and we don't want to be an additional burden on them during retirement. So we use the tools that we have, which include insurance products that will safeguard our investing. So if something happens, we don't have to exhaust it. And they also provide a tax shelter for building those resources that will sustain us through retirement. So government benefits, they're not enough, right? We don't want to be a burden to our kids. So use tools like insurance products, critical illness, disability coverage, and life insurance for income protection, as well as a wealth warehouse that grows your wealth tax efficiently, supporting you through retirement. And the final one, right? You value saving a dollar instead of making money. So if I were to ask you if I would take $1 from you today and in the future pay $100 to your loved ones, would you take that deal? Would you take that deal? Well, in my mind, we tend to look at cost, right? We tend to look at the instant impact to us, right? But I would suggest look at the ROI, look at the benefits that you get, right? We might be saving $1 now at the expense of our future comfort or our future lifestyle and the quality of life of our loved ones. So think about return as opposed to cost. Spend the $1 to get the 100. So honestly, I'm really hoping that none of these 10 reasons resonate with you. I am hoping that you see the value of putting measures in place to protect your quality of life, putting measures in place to protect your loved ones, ensuring that they can continue on even when you're not here, that your dreams and hopes will be attainable even when you're not here. I am hoping that you are okay with creating wealth tax efficiently. I am hoping that you are okay with being able to transfer a legacy that will positively impact your loved ones from generation to generation. So if that's you, none of these reasons resonate with you. And I'm hoping that you will see the benefit of insurance safeguarding your lifestyle and also creating wealth for future generations. create the life you deserve, and you can use these tools to help you. Thank you so much for listening.